Love Island Summer 2023 is finally over.
You are now listening to Pree Da Production with your host, Majaro.
What is up, my tribal people? Welcome back to another video on the Pree Da Production YouTube channel. I'm your host, Majaro, aka Midge, and welcome back. And on today's video, we are going to be reviewing Summer 2023's Love Island season. And today, it's just me, so I'm going to try and make this short and sweet for you guys. The way we're going to go is just by who gets dumped first. And there's going to be a lot of irrelevant people. We're just going to cut through, and then we're going to cover the main cast, all the bombshells that came in and had an actual impact on all the main storylines. I can talk about, the little tiffs here, the little arguments here and there, but for the main part, we're going to stick to task, and we're going to cover all the main pots. So before we get started, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to grow the community, and by sharing this with your friends and family, that goes a long way in helping us do that. Now, let's get into it. Starting off with George Fensom. Irrelevant. Move on. This guy had like 2 days and he was dumped. Next, we've got Ruchi. Now, if you go on Twitter, we all know there's the Oppression Olympics, or, black people got it hard, no, disabled people got it hard, Asian people got it hard, everyone's got it hard in some way, shape or form, gay people got it hard, females got it hard, everyone's got it hard in some way, shape or form, right? And Love Island is one of those categories in the Oppression Olympics. Black Twitter says, black females got it hard because, we're in a white dominated society in the UK or wherever, the show is, Australia or the USA. So it's hard for our black females to actually find love and actually find people who are actually attracted to them. They're set up to fail because there's no one that they're specifically picking up because they like or are interested in or find attractive black females. And I hear that, and that is valid. However, there's another group of females that we really haven't seen on Love Island, in my opinion. I don't think I've seen an East Asian woman on Love Island. We've seen a Middle Eastern Asian woman on Love Island. We've seen an Indian female on Love Island, but someone from, I think she's from the Philippines? I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but someone from that side of the world, heritage-wise, we haven't seen it. And this was the first time we've seen someone from that part of the world. And she was just, no one was feeling her. The only person she was feeling really was Andre. And as soon as Catherine kicked him to the curb, he was like, "Oh, Ruchi, we can be sloppy seconds together. Let's hook up." And she was 100% into him, but he was just not into her. And unfortunately, she was the second person to get the boot in Love Island. We have Charlotte Sumner. Who? Irrelevant. Move on. Andre. Man like Andre, I literally saw loads of jokes saying this guy's got a boy body. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the physiques this year wasn't doing it for Love Island. Usually you have the big, massive, bulging Hulk type figures. I don't think we really got that this season. I think they were going for a more realistic aesthetic look for both men and females, and I really appreciate it because you're not gonna see in your everyday walk of life, unless you go to the gym 24/7, massive guys or super fit women that are just got muscles raging from every orifice in their body. You're just not gonna see that. So to have regular body types being represented on a show like this was very empowering. But Andre, he liked Catherine, but Catherine liked Zach at the time, and they had a thing going, but unfortunately he got kicked to the curb, and then he tried to slide in with Ruchi, and no one was feeling him either, so he got the boot too. First, I think this was one of the first bombshell. Mal. Not gonna lie, Mal, she did live an impact. Whatever accent she has, I'm not sure what it is, but she was funny in her own quirky way. I respected it. It didn't quite happen for her and Sammy, but she gave it a try. She was only there for, I think, maximum a week. And then she got double voted out, I think, because Sam was, doing Sammy things. Here we go. Medi, aka Midi, aka Zesty Pappy, aka French Montana's distant brother. What can I say about Medi? Like, he just felt like he was just too good for it. Honestly, the vibe I got from Medi, was that he was above it all. He was above the drama. When he got with Whitney, it was like he was policing Whitney. And he was like, you better not do this, you better not say this, you better not make Jess cry. Like, how are you bothered about Jess when your when your partner is saying, this is what actually happened, and I didn't make her cry. She's just, she basically pulled out the white tears at that point. She pulled out the white tears because Whitney didn't say anything that wasn't true. She just called her out on her two-facedness and said, yo, that's a bit sideways, and, the white tears came out, and then he jumped like Captain Save-A-Ho and said, yo, you better not made her cry, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, Whitney must have been like, ain't this supposed to be my man? And why are you out here caping for another gal that you don't even know the full story about? But yeah, he just was not into Whitney. He was doing a Mazdas. He was doing a Mazda in one of the challenges. He was just going around, I think it was like the lap dance challenge, and he was just kissing bare gal. No one was doing what he was doing, but he just took that upon himself to be like, yo, this is my chance to, get away with murder. I don't care what the repercussions are. I'm gonna just neck on with every girl I see. And it didn't pay off because everyone got tired of his bullshit with how he was treating Whitney, and he got a boot. Honestly, since he's left, I've not heard anything about this guy. Not seen no interviews, not seen... I don't even think he was in After Sun. He must have been with After Sun because I think it was contractual. But he's just gone back to his communications manager job, I guess. And next we had Danielle. Who? R.I.P. my sister. We did not see one single frame of this girl. I think we saw her doing her upper makeup in Castle Mall, and that was about it. But that's the thing, right? Year after year after year, things get cut. The producers have a lot of control, and we're going to get to that later on in this list. But they have your storylines in their palm of their hands, and they can push or reject whatever you're doing. Was she even in the villa? Because I can't remember a single thing she did. Unfortunately, she was irrelevant. Benjamin, squarehead Ute, another squarehead Ute to the collection on Love Island. Irrelevant. Cody Murphy. Irrelevant. Gabby Jeffrey. Irrelevant. Tink Reddin. Irrelevant. Zachary, another Zach. Ashford. I'm sorry, but this guy was the most irrelevant guy in the Castle Mall. I'm sorry, but bro looks like a guinea pig. I'm sorry, but those curtains are giving guinea pig. Ellen. Right, my brother. Ellen, man's 22, I'm not gonna lie, he looks older than that. Fitness trainer and masseuse. I know this guy's got quite a bit of following on TikTok and the socials, but this guy made a beeline for Catherine. Catherine and Scott at the time were rocky because a lot of people were trying to influence what they were thinking, how they viewed each other, and he just swooped in. He came and rizzed Catherine up. Catherine was like, Scott who? Ella was like, Scott who? Literally, as soon as my man came through, it was a wrap. Catherine got rizzed up, and she was doing a mass here and there. Everything seemed perfect. It felt like they were getting closer and closer and stronger, but he just went sideways and started talking about, if bombshells come in, I'm not gonna say no to them. I am gonna be open. I just want to let you know ahead of time, X, Y, Z. That's when everyone started questioning and be like, yo, this guy just wanted to come through to the main villa and just do up main character vibes, but he wasn't the main character and he got dumped. My sister, Catherine. I liked you. I was rooting for Catherine. But then she started moving mad. I was rooting for Catherine.
We were all rooting for you! How dare you!
And I was rooting for her when she was with Zach. I was like, oh yeah, they're cute together. Andre, I was like, oh, okay. And then with Scott, like, they seemed like they were good together. But a lot of people had a lot to say about the relationship. And I'm like, bro, what is wrong with you? Why does everyone hate Scott? Like, at least what the producers were showing us was they were having a strong connection, they were getting along, there was affection, but all we saw from everyone else was, oh, I think Scott's playing a game, and blah, 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 Scott this, Scott that, and man had to address the whole situation, be like, yo, what's everyone's problem? Why is everyone, you know, Chinese whispering into Catherine's ear saying X, Y, and Z, you know, Scott this, Scott that, what have you guys got to say? And the reasons they gave were basically, we just don't like you. That's the vibe I got. Ty especially, he was just on Scott's neck, saying he was X, Y, and Z. It doesn't feel genuine, X, Y, and Z. But, you know, from the interviews I've seen, it feels like there was a lot that hit the editing floor that we didn't see in regards to Scott's behavior. But when she came back with Ellen and Scott was by himself and she was just going at him, and you know, there was no remorse. It didn't feel like they had a conversation afterwards, because they did, but that was cut to make her look worse than she actually looked, because we were thinking, right, like, how come Ella and Ty had a conversation afterwards and say, you know, we could possibly rekindle things and, you know, this isn't the end of us. But Catherine and Scott didn't, and it just seemed like Catherine and Ellen just went off on their merry way without thinking twice about Scott's feelings. And at that point, that's when the producers got me as well. I was like, yo, I went from loving Catherine to her being public enemy number one, and I fell for the trap. And I was like, yo, you gotta get this girl out. She's been moving mad since day. She's getting with next man and next man. No wonder she kissed 5 guys in one night.
She belongs to the streets.
Montel McKenzie, man like Monts, you know. Yeah, Montel was there, innit? Him and, I think, Leah? Yeah, him and Leah did their thing. He did a madness at Casa Amor. He was kissing next girl, testing the waters. Ty, you know, putting a rocket in his jetpack, and was like, yo, Ty, move. Ty was like, yo, Montel, you need to do this, take the chance. It felt like Ty was literally ringleading and saying, yo, Montel, you have to, you know, you're my puppet, I'm the puppet master. You do this, you do Mazza. And he paid for that, because after he moved mad, Leah was never the same until he actually took ownership and took accountability of his action. Leah got dumped. And we all know the reason why Leah got dumped. Because of another bad edit. The way they got Catherine is the way they got Leah. They got Leah because she repeated what one of the girls said about Scott regarding the reason why he didn't couple up with anyone is because none of the girls wanted you in Casa Amor. She originally didn't say that in response to Scott. Someone else said that, and she was just repeating it because Scott was like, yo, what'd you say? Go on. All the guys was like, oh, you know, say it with your chest, and no one wanted to repeat what was said because obviously it's a violation. So Leah was the one that said it, and the editors made it seem that Leah was clapping back. That's why, you know, we heard Scott saying, I don't know why you've piped up. It's been 2-3 weeks and this is the first time I've heard you speak. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Scott got her good. And at that point, Scott was at peak power, because anyone that was attacking Scott, the public weren't having it. They were like, yo, protect Scott at all costs. He's done nothing wrong. Scott's our hero, da-da-da-da. It was like, whatever weapon formed around Scott shall fall. Like, it was them type of vibes. The way the public had Scott's back, and even I was on Scott's side, it was ridiculous. And she got dumped because she went against Scott. That's exactly what it was. Like, Montel was just collateral damage, innit? Uzi. Honestly, high key, Uzi was irrelevant. Uzi was just used. Uzi was used by Ella, and Uzi was used by, what's her name, Katie, just to stay in the villa. He was just used. Katie didn't really like him like that. It was just like, oh yeah, you're here, I'm here. You want to stay into the villa for a couple more weeks? Alright, cool, let's see where this can go. I didn't see anything happening more than just the villa because Katie was moving mad. Katie was moving mad when it came to Zach. Speaking of Katie, honestly, the way Katie came in was like, yo, this Love Island bag has finally run out. So I'm going to have to go to the plug and re-up. I'm going to have to go to the source and get back into the game, get back into the villa, do my thing, get some clout so that I can come out of the villa, go back to my boyfriend, allegedly, and live our life of luxury again with brand deals and X, Y, and Z appearances and getting paid again just from the association of being in Love Island. She came in, you know how Katie is. She's very opinionated. She sticks her nose where it shouldn't be, really. And her first action was crazy. She dumped Molly and got with her man Zach. She thought she was on top of the world. She thought she got the guy that everyone wants, and she had no clue what was going to happen later on. I'm not going to lie, the way that Katie got juked, it just didn't seem right. It felt like Katie and Uzi had more of a connection than, who was it? I think it was Mitch and Abby? Correct me if I'm wrong, but they deserved to stay in over Mitch. And this is why I feel like the producers had another hand in the production. I swear to God, these producers were fabricating decisions. And the way Whitney, you know how Whitney makes a decision, she stands on it. It felt like the way she was standing on it was like I'm just hearing it. I just have to make this decision, and she didn't really give any good reasons. She just said, yeah, it's my decision. I'm sticking to it. That was it. She didn't give any explanations. You know, Whitney, she's very detailed. She can break things down, but she did not try and break down that decision whatsoever. It was just vibes. It's just feelings. Feelings. More like producer saying, yo, you better not get rid of Mitch because Messy Mitch is giving us views. Next, Abby. Irrelevant. The most irrelevant female to have some sort of screen time. Josh, irrelevant. Abby, Sadie. She went out like a sad, crazy person. I'm not gonna lie. The way she was obsessed over Mitch and then started to flirt with Scott and loved the attention that Scott was giving her. But then when Mitch started speaking to someone else, Ella namely, she was like, oh no, I can't be, you need to make a decision, you can't be doing this X, Y, and Z, but you were doing this like a day ago and you're loving it. Now Mitch wants to do it. It's a problem. And the whole back and forth and the messiness, because Mitch was like, oh, I want Abby, no, I want Ella, all the bullshit back and forth and all the arguments going around in circles. It just wasn't a good look. This was probably one of the most drawn out segments on this year's Love Island. It just went on for it felt like 2 weeks. They were going back and forth about this Abby, Scott, Mitch and Ella square. It was just not given. She finally left. I was so happy to put it behind me. Man like Scott. Oh, man, Scott van der Sluizer? I don't know how to say that last name. Must be some Dutch heritage. Oh, yeah. Footballer. Van der. Yeah, that's definitely a Dutch footballer name. But, yeah, Scott did his thing. At one point, everyone was, defending Scott. Scott could do no wrong. Let's protect Scott at all costs. But then it starts to be like, yo, this guy's just here for the free holiday. And more power to him, innit? I can't say anything more. He defended himself. He stood his ground when he felt like he needed to address situations and put people to the side and be like, yo, what do you mean by that? Can you delve deep into that? What was your decision process behind that? He actually stuck it on people. He wasn't like no walkover. Like the way Ty had these men whipped around the villa and Scott was not one of them. And you felt like the friction between them two at times, especially. You can tell there was a clear divide between Ty, Sammy, Mitch, Zach, and Scott. I think Zach and Scott were talking a lot more than it got made out to be. but Ty just was not vibing with him, and Scott was like, hey, I'm just doing me, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. And unfortunately, he was dumped with Abby, and this guy was leading that girl on. Let's be honest, he was not interested in her. Honestly, I wouldn't even be interested in Abby after the stunt she pulled. At one point, she was 100% for Mitch, and then giving Scott attention, and it felt like she was going to go with Scott. And then when Mitch started speaking to Ella, she's like, oh no, actually, let's be friends. I want to speak to Scott. And at that point, it just felt like, even Whitney said, Scott would rather go home than couple up with you. But obviously, he didn't go home. He coupled up with her. And he just coupled up with her because, there's only 2 weeks left. Let me just ride this ride for as long as possible. And that's what he did. And it is what it is. The game is the game. More power to Scotty boy. Ella Barnes. Wow. This was probably the most feisty feud between the females. There wasn't a lot of infighting with the females. This year's females were super tight. And eventually Molly got indoctrinated into the group eventually. Because at first it felt like it was every girl and then Molly on her own. With Leah here and there. Ella baby. The battle of the Ellas. Boy. When she came through and she went straight for Ty. Ella A, original Ella OG, whatever you want to say about her. She was not having it. She was on a smoke. She was not having it. She was like, what you say about me and my man? This ain't a battle, honey. I can never battle over a man because he's mine, and it's never going to be a competition, so I don't know what you're playing at.
All I want to say is do you, babe. Like, coming on your own energy. Like, you don't need to mention other Ella. You don't need to talk about battles. There's never going to be a battle. Like,
there's not going to be a battle. I've just said
I would
it's
never
funny.
go head to head with a girl for a man, so the talk of battles is like, it's not me.
It was literally a bit of banter. I don't want no beef. Like, I'm not here for drama. I knew him before you, and we can literally have a chat. Like,
I'm never going to battle you.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
that's not a thing.
It was banter. I'm sorry you took it that way. I didn't want to upset you, babe, because I'm a girl's girl. I'm not a bitch. And I've literally gone and done my thing.
That's not how it sounded, but okay. If you say so.
Yo, you heard all the attitude. And Ella, she's that type of girl that she will let you know. The way she just said, move from my seat, fam. Sit your ass over there. All my shit is here. Oh, yo, the attitude. She was giving Mean Girls vibes in the worst ways. Well, in the best ways for her. Because she let her know. Original Ella let Ella B know. And she was like, hey, I don't want no smoke. So, yeah, even though me and Ty had history, that's all you, girl. And she went, back to Mitch. She claims she was only there for Mitch. And that's big cap.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
We all know that's cap. We all know that's cap because you wouldn't go straight for Mitch if you had a history with Ty and then went to Ty to see if we can rekindle that history. Like, come on. We all know it was all fake. Like, even Mitch said, just getting a bit fake vibes. Bit of fake vibes. Mitch is the MVP of this season, hands down. This is this season's Olivia. If you all know about how I felt about Olivia in last season, you know that I felt like she was an industry plant. She was a producer plant. She was solely in there and she was kept in there. Every time it felt like it's time to get Olivia / Mitch out, something protected them. Some decision out of nowhere, some producer-led activities shifted the focus from him to someone else. Mitch is getting heat on social media. Olivia's getting heat on social media. Let's try and shift the narrative or try to sway the game in such a way that we can protect Olivia / Mitch whilst getting X person out or this person out so that we can progress the show along. And Mitch was that guy. He was messy. He was calculated. He was a liar. He was just talking bad on the man them's name. Like, for Ty to be so hung up on bro code, Mitch broke every single bro code under the sun, and he got away with it. I was just like, he can't keep getting away with this. This guy did not care. This guy did anything to get and secure the girl. Man was fully on Molly, right? And he tried gaslighting her to believing that, oh no, you've coupled up with me, you can't turn your back on me, da 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 da. I've only got eyes for you, Molly, blah 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 blah. To this day, he only wants Molly. I for 100% believe that, because the way he was talking about Zach and their conversations, he was like, yeah, Zach came over here and was just saying, conversation was a bit dry.
Yeah, bit dry, I don't know. I felt like it was clicking, then the conversations are getting better, but it was a weird one. But it's just because you don't know each other enough, though.
Did he say that it was a bit dry? It was quite dry, the chat.
Yeah.
Conversation was a bit dry. Anything that Zach did, he was there to try and destroy or try and railroad. This guy had no shame. And the man them had to check him a couple of times, like, what are you doing, broski? Like, come on, broski. You can't be saying this.
Did you go to Katie and tell her I said our chat was dry, bro?
No.
Was those your words, though?
Yeah, they were.
Come on,
I didn't mean it like that, though.
What are you doing, bro?
I did say that, bro, yeah.
What's wrong with you, man?
I just said, obviously, this is how it went down.
What's wrong with you, bro?
I didn't mean it like that. Let me explain myself first. Obviously, I wanted to know how the chat worked, because obviously, Zach came over and he said he was a bit bothered about it. And she said, what did he say? He said it didn't go as good as it could, and he said it was a bit dry.
What are you doing?
It was just messy Mitch lying to one girl, saying this, I want you, no, I want you, my head's scrambled, I think it's fake, oh no, it's 100%, oh, I'm in my own way, I'm a self-sabotager. This guy was headline TV, and I've got to give him MVP. Even though it frustrated me and a lot of people at the time, this season would not be the season without Messy Mitch. So we got Zachariah, man like Zach, Fun fact, me and Zach actually played basketball in the same program at university. So you could say Zach's my claim to Love Island fame. I could lie to you and say me and Zach were boys. We played basketball every day together. We went on nights out every single weekend, blah, blah, blah. But on this YouTube channel, I've got a strictly no capping policy. So that's not what happened, and that's not true. Zach was, take first half Zach of Love Island, you didn't quite know what he was about, he came off very mysterious, you didn't know what he was thinking, or, what he was into, or who he was. That was literally Zach, his whole university persona. That was his whole university persona. Like, Zach came to university, did his uni stuff, went to basketball, played games, trained, and disappeared. I was like, yo, where's Zach at? Like, he came, I think we probably went on like 5 nights out together, and he was, part of it. And every time like he would disappear, I'd be like, yo, why going for Zach, fam? Like, where he at? And now, I literally got to know more about Zach through Love Island. I got to know more about this guy that I was physically in the same arena with, more on Love Island. And the reason for that, the reason why he disappeared, now I know, makes 100% sense, is that he's from South London and his sister is a very popular BBC One Extra radio host / DJ. So if you got those connections, I understand why every free chance you get, you would always want to go back to South, chill with her and her friends and her connections or whatever, and just, it's a 10 times the vibe than it would be in Worcester. And I respect it. Like, if I had a chance to be chilling with my brothers and sisters back at home, chilling with, I don't know, Skepta, DEE, Big Zoo, Lethal Bizzle, Dizzy Rascal, all these man, potentially, I don't know, and then, speak to bad gal in the clubs because you're a basketballer. All you need to say is, yo, I play basketball. Like, how Zach be, yo, babes, yo, I'm a basketballer, innit? That's all he needed to do. And I understand why he was never in Worcester. But shout out to Zach. He did his thing. He had probably the most complete, or one of the most complete storylines and experiences in Love Island. He was never in any danger of being dumped. Like, even though people said, you know, this guy's dry, all he does is rub his chin and say broski and, yo, what you doing, broski? Stuff like that. There's people saying his chat bit dry. His chat was a bit dry. He was never in danger. He just had the sauce. He didn't even have to. Zach does not have to say too much. He's just 6'5", 6'7", whatever he is. Plays basketball, good looking, and that's all that needs to be said. He got his girl, got another girl. All the girls were on him. Literally, Catherine, Katie, Molly, Whitney. Yo, they could have been a thing at one point. Like, I don't think there was a single girl that did not want a slice of Zach. Tyreek. Man like Tyreek, you know. The big alpha in the room, the big alpha in the building. Yo, Tyreek had the man them on lock. No one did or say, no one made any moves without Tyreek said so, it felt like. Like, this guy had all the man them under lock and key. And he honestly could have had any girl he wanted, really. But it was always him and Ella. He tested the waters here and there. Ella let him know. And I feel like those two are very strong personalities and they complement each other, and at the same time they clash with each other. So I don't know how that's going to work on the outside, but they gave us entertainment. Arguments every other week, disagreements, flirting with random gal, her not liking it, and let's just talk about them all in one go. How old? They're basically the same age, and yeah, Ella is one of those girls who she's gonna let you know what she feels, how she feels, and you're gonna see it in the way she's acting, the way she looks. Like, every single time this girl was upset, she could not hide it. Every time she could have been dumped, you could see her sour face, like, literally, you could see it from a mile away that she was upset. And Tariq can handle that. And I guess they get on like a house on fire. And a lot of people wanted her and Ty to win. But it felt like the votes were split between them and Whitney and Lockham. Whitney. Bad girl Whitney. What can I say? Catchphrase after catchphrase after catchphrase after catchphrase. Energy, wit. She was the wittiest Whitney I've ever met. Like, she was giving, right? I know a lot of girls say that these terms and, you know, joking, kiki and haha, but she was actually funny. She was, like, you know when people comment on everything, like Mitch comments on everything, but Mitch can be very annoying. But the way Whitney does it is, you know, I'm going to give you a bit here and there, frequent and often, but not too much at any one time. Like, she was funny. She has chat. She knows who she is. She's got conviction. And the way she was dealing with Meaty, Zesty Pappy, French Montana's brother, the way she dealt with him was with decorum, with class. She was just like, yeah, I don't think we're heading in the right direction. And eventually he got dumped by the public and she was able to move on. And she was on the market and she was doing her thing. She could have had Zach potentially, but, you know, Castle Moore happened and she got with Lockham, account manager. Lockham's a nice guy. I like his energy. I like his vibe. He's very respectful. He's humble. I know, a lot of people like Ella didn't think that they were humble and they were smug. And that whole beef was crazy and blown up out of proportion. But, you know, at the end of the day, these girls love each other and they made it to the finals together. And Lockham was just there for the ride. Locking was there like a good partner supporting his girl, making that 50k potentially at the time. And he just, he didn't dim her light, like she said. Mehdi was definitely dimming her light. He was like, yo, don't do this, don't do that. It felt like he was imposing his will on her, and not in a nice way. It felt like he wanted to be the center of attention, but he just wasn't giving main character energy, and Whitney was. And she was definitely one of the main characters. In terms of MVPs, you gotta go with Mitch because he was just so messy. But then straight after, Whitney was right there. And Lockham was just there for the ride, innit? And now, to the winners of Love Island Summer 2023, Sammy and... where is she? And Jess. Let's talk about it. Sammy was the biggest playboy there. Like, Tariq did his thing, don't get it twisted, but Sammy was outlandish with it. He was just like, yo, she there. I don't even need to give her attention like that. I know, as soon as I give her a little attention, we're back to normal. And that's what happened. The way this guy was moving was like, Jess who? Jess where? Going on dates, chatting her up, saying I've got more in common with you than I have with Jess in 4 weeks and all those things there. And yeah, he did his thing. But at the end of the day, he always came back to Jess. And Jess was the biggest mug there. Like Jess. She's hella two-faced, for sure. She'd be talking out the side of her mouth a lot of times, but she has a good heart. Like, Charlotte really likes her for some reason, I don't know. But she did have mug all over her face. And the way they won, I don't understand. Honestly, from what I can see from the votes revealed, Ella and Tariq, Whitney and Lockham got 50% of the votes. Deep it, they got 50% of the votes. That shows that people, voters, were split between Whitney, Lockham, and Ella and Tariq, who they wanted to win. Half of Black Twitter wanted this side to win, another half of Black Twitter wanted this side to win. But Fiat 500 was like, no, not today. You guys are arguing over who you want to win. We already had last year's couple that was, a bit too coloured for us. We can't have it 2 years in a row, so Jess and Sammy, they're our winners. And it is what it is. Like, at the end of the day, it's Love Island. Like, you win some, you lose some, you get dumped, you win 50 grand. And congratulations to Sammy and Jess for winning that. Like, in terms of Love Island arcs goes, I heard someone on Love Island once saying, oh yeah, some people want that arc of, will they, won't they, will they, won't they will, and then steady towards the end, and that's how they win. And their storyline was stereotypical of that. However, we do know the producers have a lot of control and a lot of, what we see and what we don't see. So I know for a fact there was stuff that was fabricated. Mitch was definitely an industry plant, and I can't lie, it was very, very entertaining. And the game is what it is. It's not Love Island's fault that, Black Twitter was split over two strong couples, and Jess and Sammy benefited from that. They wouldn't be my personal choice because Sammy, on the outside, he's definitely going to be doing a madness. But the game is the game, and it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Thank you guys for staying tuned and staying for this long video. Hopefully it's not too long. I said it was going to be quick, but it doesn't seem quick. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this season. Do you think that Whitney should have won? Do you think Tariq and Ella should have won? Or, Jess and Sammy, they were the rightful winners? What do you think about Messy Mitch? he was moving mad the whole season. What do you think about everyone else, all the irrelevant characters that didn't get any screen time? Man like Guinea Pig Face. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
I be kidding on my foes, even though I got it all on my own. Success sweet.